and welcome back to the fifth episode of GTO Race Center, the official talk show of the GTO League. As always, I am joined by my co-host and two-time champion of the league, Rashad. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing great, Miles. Ready to jump into this episode. We got a lot of things to talk about.
It's been a while since we've talked or anything. We've been slacking off a little bit here in the past couple weeks. Just had a little, mid-season break. And we're back though. We're gonna get everything up and running, which we will explain more later on in the episode. Uh, but yeah, just had a couple weeks there. Super Bowl, Daytona 500, a couple things we wanted to give some drivers a break. That they were doing other stuff on the night, so we wanted to make sure we have good crowds for the race coming up. So yeah, that's pretty much it for our mid-season break.
All right, yeah, Miles, I'm super excited. I just want to thank our sponsors, Mets Painting, for sponsoring the league. As we jump into the first topic, Miles, let's talk about those multi-class races that we had. What did you think of those?
They're really fun. Well, of course, I thought it was fun because I won the lower class there. But I mean, I thought it was fun because it was something new and something different. It gave, since we're basically running two races at a time, it gave, a whole like twice the amount of people a chance to win the race tonight and run good in their division. So it just did a lot of cool things. It was something cool to try. A lot of drivers are talking about seeing if we can do a multi-class season coming up, which is something fun. So we're gonna see how all that pans out because I mean I had a blast.
That was really fun. I managed to pick up a win there, and so did you, Miles, which is great to see both of us pick up that win. But it was a real interesting dynamic having such very fast cars and slow cars on the track at the same time, learning how to navigate. A lot of these drivers come from more NASCAR-centered backgrounds, so having to learn that road course element and what rules and what blue flags meant was a big shift because usually the lap cars battle for position in NASCAR, but right now they have to slide out of the way or have the faster cars navigate their way through, which is a really cool concept, a cool idea. Everybody seemed to navigate it well. We had a couple of incidents on track with people not knowing where people were going. A lot of people went off the track, but great racing overall. A lot of side-by-side racing, a lot of hard racing. So
And it was such a
overall, that was
long
awesome.
race too. Just the day to night, back to day transition. I had a lot. The ever changing track conditions. You figure we started out in the middle of the afternoon, and then we ended up racing back into the night and then back into early morning. So you figure the track temperature was changing all race long, which had to do with or changed the racing the entire race. So that was very interesting as well.
Rapidly changing conditions too. Just like grip levels spiking and then decreasing and spiking and decreasing. Swear if they added rain, if weather was a factor in that track, there everybody would have been off everywhere. Everybody would have been mad confused, didn't know what to do. With the conditions drastically changing, it really showed who was fast, who could adapt the best, which is I really like about that series, and I would love to see it spiral into something more. Just got to get a good schedule put together. Just got to put some ideas together. See how many people we're gonna need, and we might be able to put something together. But Miles, I had saw something on the front stretch there, and I
What did
wanted
you
to
see?
ask you what was on the front stretch.
Well, that's funny that you should ask because there's actually a race car on the front stretch. Let's see if we can get over there real quick because we have a new series in case you have not seen yet.
We have a really tall cameraman, by the way.
Yeah, he's getting a
He's
little
up
shorter
there.
right now.
He's
But
crouching.
in case you don't realize this is Dale Earnhardt Sr.'s car from the Winston Cup Series, and the Winston Cup Series is back, and it's on the GTO League. We put a bunch of our favorite schemes on some AI cars and let them have at it. So if you love the early 2000s NASCAR and the Winston Cup Series, then this is the place for you. And I mean, all of our favorite drivers, Ward Burton, Dale Earnhardt Sr., Dale Earnhardt Jr., Mark Martin, Jeff Gordon, all the greats from the early 2000s battling it out on Gran Turismo 7. It's such a fun series to watch.
Oh yeah, it is an awesome series to watch. We have we did post two races, what Northern Isle and Daytona.
Daytona.
Um,
And
yeah, Ryan Newman picked up the wins at both tracks,
which I was very
dominating
happy about because
first.
I'm a Newman fan myself. So that was fun to watch. And just, you know, both Jimmy Johnson, which is I know he's your favorite driver, and Ryan Newman is my favorite driver. Both of those drivers are retired in real life. To be able to watch those drivers race again, I know even though it's just AIs on GT7, but it's fun to be able to watch those drivers compete again in a Cup Series schedule.
Oh yeah, definitely. So it's really fascinating and it's great, cool idea that I think we came up with. It's gonna be awesome to see these guys battle out week in and week out. Ryan Newman starts off the little exhibition kind of series. We did an exhibition series. We have some more races coming. I think we did 11 total, if I'm correct. Just test tracks out, cool settings. They were really interesting, really good races. So looking forward to putting those videos out so you guys can take a look at those. But oh my gosh, just starting it off, Ryan Newman with spectacular, dominating Daytona, and then following it up with a very smart pitch strategy to pick up the win, coming out just in front of Dale Sr. after Ward Burton was dominating that race. So very good racing so far. A lot of strategies involved. Looking forward to seeing where this could go, and hopefully you guys like the exhibition series we put together, and then after that we're gonna try to put together a season for these guys. We're going to keep track of Winston points and have these drivers go head to head and see who comes out as the GTO Winston Cup champion. Sound like a good idea, Miles? Getting excited about that?
It's gonna be a blast. I'm really having a lot of fun because, I don't know about you, but it takes away from the stress, of week to week when you're fighting for points, actually racing, for yourself and you're actually driving. So being able to have some fun and watch the AIs battle it out for a change, it's a ton of fun. And to throw these old NASCAR drivers back into it, it's like the days of the past. To just bringing back some fond memories of when you were younger, and it's just fun to watch these drivers battle it out.
So Miles, I see you in the cockpit of that number three Chevrolet. How did it feel? How does it feel to drive that number three Chevrolet and realize that it's faster than any Ford you've ever driven? How does it feel?
Well, this is just a test car, so it's not actually faster. Ford actually got more wins than Chevy did in our exhibition season so far. So we will see about that, because even though they may be fast, the Chevys may be a little bit faster during the testing sessions, they are not the fastest during race trim. So there's that.
I mean, you can say whatever you want to say, but as a man who won two championships with a Chevrolet, Miles, I'm just speaking for my people. You know what I'm saying? But
Hey man, you gotta give me props. I won the championship with the Mustang out of all Group 3 cars.
yeah, those were trash. Those Mustangs were garbage,
And I managed to win
I will
some
commend
races with it. So you
I
gotta
will commend
you
you
gotta
on
give me
that.
props on that one.
Oh yeah, for sure. Just at least we're not driving a Dodge like Nicholas Collie used to drive that Dodge, and he just oh Jesus, don't get me
But the
started on
Dodgers
that.
are fast in the Winston Cup Series. I'll tell you, Newman's
That
won the
is
first
true.
two races,
That is
and we
true.
have
That is
Pontiac in there
true.
too. So a lot of cool and fun manufacturers for us to mess around with.
Penske is popping off, starting off the series. But let's transition into this weekend's race. We're returning to Northern Isle
It's
this
back
weekend. So
here at this high banked half mile oval, and we have had the history of this racetrack runs deep in the league. This is where we hosted the first ever race for the league over a year ago, and we are going to return for the first night race of the season here at Northern Isle. So it's going to be fun to watch those schemes shine under the lights here. And Rashad, how do you think these drivers going to handle after going through, a couple week break and coming back into points competition?
rust is the big word of the week for me. Rust is going to be a very big word. So these drivers have not been in the cars very often, haven't been putting many laps in the cars. Everybody's been driving everything else under the sun, especially with the new update coming out yesterday actually. So these drivers are going to be rusty. Nobody's got any track time on these cars. And coming back to Northern Ireland itself is going to be a challenge. Especially last race that we had in Northern Ireland was catastrophic. We had a lot of cautions, a lot of incidents happening on track due to drivers having difficulties with the racetrack. I'm going to say that to be polite. But one thing these drivers are going to have to tackle is the bump and exit of turn two. So I feel like these drivers are going to really need to focus in, get some good lap time down, hopefully build a lot more trust and comfort with the track, take their notes from last race and bring them here in order to be able to get more consistency, a little more speed out of the car, because the fastest way around this track is around the high lane. So being able to learn how to drive in dirty air, navigate turn one, try to stay as close to the wall in turn one and two as possible, due to the simple fact that bump on the exit of turn two during the transition back on as the banking flattens out, is where a lot of drivers tend to spin out and wreck. So trying to figure out how to drive that part of the racetrack and be consistent is, I think, is going to be who wins that race. Whoever makes the least amount of mistakes is going to win that race. But it just all
Which
depends when they.
Oh,
Oh, you can
but
continue.
this looking at this racetrack, it's gonna be a night race. Last time we raced here was a day race. The track was a lot hotter and a lot slicker. This time around, the track is gonna be cold. It's gonna be night out. It'll be under the lights, so the track's gonna have a lot more grip in it than did during the race time or race last time. So that could play a major factor in how this race turns out.
That could play a major factor. It could also maybe open up that groove. Maybe open up two grooves on the high lane. Might be able to have these drivers going side by side in a lot of these corners because a lot of these drivers I think are going to try to do that. But who knows? But as we've seen on these restarts, a lot of the inside lane is the preferred lane on the restarts. If you can get some good help on the inside lane, you can usually clear that outside and pop back up there and then start setting some good laps and some clean air. And you could definitely pull away from the pack. But I think these drivers are going to really need, and I really want to stress this, and I hope they listen to me when I say this. All right, from one driver to another, let's go into this race. Let's try to be a little bit more patient, single file out a little bit, and start trying to work the lines, make some passes there, left and right, do like that. Let's make the pace a little bit slower, bring it back down, make it a lot more racy. But I think the grip increase is going to make these drivers a lot more aggressive. So I'm probably not going to get my wish. But hopefully we can get some hard racing in, but also have these drivers race with a good head on their shoulders and maybe not get as much of a wreck fest and see if we can get a lot more hard racing in.
It should be a fun race. This was a fun race track. Javen Tucker actually won the race the last time around here, so let's see if he will be able to be a repeat runner. And I mean, the stands may be empty here now. Of course, we're filming this Wednesday night, so no one's out at the racetrack since there's no race going on. But we had a packed house last time. You could hear the cheers of the crowd over the car, and we are expecting another sellout crowd this weekend, so the atmosphere here at Northern Iowa is going to be electric for this first night race of the season.
Oh yeah, and my favorites for this race, I had to pick a favorite. Well, I can't pick just one. I had to pick two. I think Javen Tucker and Miles Johnson are going to be the guys to watch for this race. Both made very minimal mistakes. Didn't really get caught up in the turn two bumps that much, and didn't spin off the corner. And if they did get loose, they actually kept the car together. So I'm looking forward to seeing how those two guys battle it out on the race. But it's a lot of drives you can't count out. It's one of those races that it could be anybody's race. Depends on who plays it right, who makes the mistakes, but anybody can make a mistake here. I would say this track is just as about as forgiving as Darlington. With how different the two corners are on the racetrack. You see that guy right there is definitely, he's been there all month, waiting for this race to come back around in the flag stand. And these guys are super excited. I want to thank those guys for getting the track prepared for us as they've been working hard through and through since the last event here. So, yeah, who is your favorite going into this race, Miles? And
I
don't be afraid
mean,
to pick yourself. Don't be afraid to bet on yourself, Miles.
I think we're gonna have a solid top three car. I don't think we're gonna have the car to win it, but I think we're gonna have a car to be able to have a decent finish as long as luck goes our way. I mean, this is just a lot of luck has to play into your hand here at this racetrack because you could have an incident here late, end up getting hung out in the back, and I mean it's really hard to pass cars here. So hopefully, as long as you get the track position at the end, you can have a good run. But I would pick, Javen Tucker is the one I'm going to mainly watch. I, of course, watch you as well. You didn't have as much speed as you needed last time here, so I feel like you're hungrier this time, so you could definitely be on it a lot more. So I'm going to look at you to be running up to the front. But one person I would like to kind of shine some light on is Nicholas Collier. Actually finished third last time around here. He was fighting for that second place spot and ended up finishing third. So if Nick lays his cards right, maybe he could end up front here at the end and when he needed to strike.
That's very true. We do have a tight points battle so far for the within the top three drivers. So Miles, just knowing how you're in the fight and the hunt for the championship this season, you're not shy to this type of racing. You're not. This isn't new to you to race on Northern Ireland. It's not new to you being a championship hunt. So how are you going to race? How are you going to put those conditions into the race? Are you going to be more calm? You're going to try to go for every little bit of points you can get, or you're going to be like, you know what, I can settle in, just try to be consistent? What's your game plan going into the race?
Well, as much as I would love to race as hard as I possibly can in order to build a bigger points cushion, I still have the lead by 2 spots. That's not that much, but as long as I finish within 2 spots of you, I still should be pretty decent. But we do have the Glen next week or next race, which will definitely be one where I could possibly lose a lot of points. So I think I'm just going to try to play it safe this weekend and try not to push it because I know myself whenever I try to push hard, I end up making mistakes, make myself mad, and it ends up ruining my race. So I just hope that I can play it calm this weekend and have a decent finish because as long as I have a couple decent finishes, I should be able to make it to Daytona with a shot of winning the championship, and I have a feeling that we can do pretty good there since we won there in the season opener.
Mm-hmm. But all I'm going to say, Miles, is that number 24 Chevrolet is going to have speed. It's going to have speed this weekend. Just don't be shy. Don't be afraid. Don't be shocked. Don't be surprised when you see that number 24 Chevrolet go around your outside.
This will be really fun whenever you watch Javen dust both of us.
Okay, Javen's a different story. All right, I'm not really stressed about Javen, but Javen probably is going to win this race. But I'm going to do whatever I can in my power to not have Javen win this race.
But you never
Not
know.
wreck,
Look at the
not
points
wreck.
battle.
I'm gonna try to
We
win.
talk
I want to win
about
this race.
me and you, of course, we're really close right now for the points lead. But Nicholas Collier only 30 spots out, or 30 positions out. Sorry, not spots. Which that's only 6 positions on the racetrack.
30 points.
So he can easily make that up if me and you have some troubles. Donnie Wu is 40 points out. It's only 8 positions on the racetrack, and all 4 of these drivers, there's only 4 drivers that are still eligible for the championship. So keep your eyes on those cars with them yellow spoilers this weekend, because man, they gonna be trying to make up some ground on the points. They're gonna be trying to gain some time because the races are starting to count down before we come to Daytona for the finale.
Oh, that is very true. And Daytona is going to be one heck of a race, Miles. I probably am never going to be as stressed as I am going to be leading up to that weekend. A lot of things could go your way. Trying to learn how to race around people, it's very luck based, but there is skill to it. And I think drivers like Javen Tucker and drivers like Miles Johnson, they definitely have it down to a science. Coming from me, I know I am not the fastest big oval track super speedway racer. I can get there when I can get there, but most of the time it's like for every 1 to 2 runs in the lead I get, Miles Johnson and Javen Tucker have at least 3 to 5. I I struggle to lead 1 to 2 laps a race on plate tracks, and Miles Johnson and Javen Tucker are usually the 2 cars leading the other 15, 20 laps of the race that we're gonna run. So I'm just along for the ride. I'm just hoping I can get a big enough points buffer to where I can afford to finish a couple positions behind Miles Johnson, and just really hope, with all the luck on my side, that I can pull out this championship.
It's going to be a hell of a battle, though. Hopefully, we can see what happens, though. It's still been a hell of a season. We've had a lot of different drivers win races, a lot of different drivers run up front. We actually had, Nicholas Collier picked off the win the last time we raced in the Sylvias, or the Strictly Stock Series at Root X, which was a huge underdog win. Kept him in the championship hunt. He gained a lot of points, so he may be on some momentum here. He's got a podium and then followed it up with a win. Then had a podium before that podium too. So they stringing some good finishes together.
It is very true, very true. So, this rest of this season, a lot of drivers. We did say in I think either a podcast or 2 podcasts ago, we did say that the rest of this season does really favor Nicholas Collier, because Nicholas Collier loves these set of tracks that we're going to come up next in the series. Maybe not the more road course oriented racetracks, but the ones that we have on the schedule, like the Blue Moons, Daytonas, things like those. He's going to be a guy to definitely look after. So just got to try to beat him.
My dark horse pick for the championship.
I know, but you know what he needs to work on? Blocking. once he gets that down to a science, I'm telling you, he's going to be somebody that he's going to be unstoppable.
And I can hear the sigh that Nicholas Collier just let out while he's watching this video.
Yep.
So,
Nick, I just want to apologize for making that again. I know you don't like when I do it, but how else am I going to push you to be better, my boy? I care about you, so you got to get back. You got to learn how to block. Don't let Miles win any more races. Please, don't let him win any more races.
but
yeah.
It's a really tight battle, so it's going to be a fun rest of the season. We don't know what we're going to do after this season. There's probably going to be a little off season because I know I'm going to be super busy soon because real life racing season is starting up next month. So I will be gone Friday and Saturdays a lot, and probably won't feel like doing anything on Sundays. So we're going to have to see where we will be able to fit stuff in after this season.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's all I have for the show tonight, Miles. What else? Got anything else you want to add?
My notes have closed, so I have no idea what to go off of. Well, it looks like we've pretty much covered everything. Since we don't have a special guest driver tonight. So, is there anything else that you would like to add before we close things out?
Nope, that's all I had.
Well, thank you for watching the podcast here tonight and our talk show. Thank you for joining me again, Rashad, and talking a little bit of trash here and there. But make sure to hit up the league on Instagram. Give us a follow. Give us some likes. If you want to join, just DM us. We don't bite. Well, Rashad might. But anyways, make sure to check out the Winston Cup Series. Look at Dale Sr. down there. He's begging for you to watch his videos. So you need to check out the Winston Cup Series on our YouTube channel. We race Daytona, Northern Iowa. We got the Glen coming up soon. We got Blue Moon Bay coming up soon. Going to be some great fuel mileage and great strategy races, some great passing. It's going to be really fun to watch. So if you're a fan of an early 2000s NASCAR driver, definitely check those drivers out. But we will be back here for an 150-lap main event at Northern Iowa this weekend, so do not miss that either. Thank you for watching, and we will see you soon. Have a good one.